Today on the show, we're going to give you the top 5 reasons to give your book away for free. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Christian Indie Writers Podcast, where we inform, encourage, and support Christian indie writers on their journey toward publication. I'm Jennifer Carl Tong, and I write historical Christian romance.
I'm Christina Catane, and I write Christian fantasy.
And we are down 2 hosts. If you are a fan here, someone must be here to hear my dogs going crazy upstairs.
Maybe they want to host.
Maybe. I need a door for my office. I have this little itty bitty office, which I'm fine with. I don't mind the size, but we haven't installed a door yet. So my poor girls, I just went upstairs and told my oldest, listen, if the dogs start barking, they have to go in the cage, go in their crates. Anyway, back to this. What was I talking about? I forgot where I was.
We're down 2 hosts.
Oh, yeah, we're down 2 hosts. You might have noticed if you're a fan of ours and you've been with us over the last several years that we've been doing this, you will notice that usually there's 4 of us. Our friend Jamie is taking a little leave of absence to take care of some things personally, and our friend Rhonda is still on a medical leave. So we appreciate your prayers in that area. But we still have our chat here every week, and we are so grateful for them. Piper's here. Hey, all, she says. Catherine is here as well. Hi, Catherine. She's saying good morning. Jess, we haven't seen you in a bit, Jess. Good morning, Jess. She's here as well. If you are tuning in for the first time and you're a little bit like, I don't think I'm going to chat. No, put your name in the chat. Let us know that you're here. We have a really great community of Christian writers that show up every Friday, are part of our Facebook group. If you're not a part of our Facebook group, the link is in the show notes. You want to be in there because we've got some really great people in there. If you are listening to this as a podcast later, we appreciate you as well. Please like and subscribe wherever you do listen to us. And come on over on a Friday and join us over here on YouTube because, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We try to have
Shenanigans shall prevail.
Yeah. The what shall prevail?
Shenanigans.
I thought you said mannequin. I got to turn my volume up. I could not hear that.
Well, I don't enunciate sometimes either. So.
Well, and I just turned 50 this month. So, everything's
I have to be
apart.
really careful when I talk about my husband's job.
Okay.
Oh, SHIPT. You really have to enunciate that P.
Oh, only you, Tina.
Your husband works for who?
Maybe it's a little both. All right, moving on. Our first part of our every episode is our what's up. This is where we check in with each other and with our chat to see what has been going on with us since we met last. So, Tina, tell us what's up with you.
Well, it is allergy season in Michigan.
Yes,
I'm not
it is.
sure when that stops. Like there might be a week in December. So if you're wondering why I'm crying, I am not crying. My eyes are itching and they're watering and it's terrible. I probably look like I have red eyeliner on because I keep scratching my eye, like right along the rim of my eyelid.
Plus, it's different. It's different allergens at different times of the year. Like
Right.
I was just realizing that I have not taken headache medicine. It's been a while because I've not had any. I must be my allergies. I've not had any symptoms, but yours are getting worse. So whatever's out there right now, I'm not affected by.
Pollen is like I went to the store and the pollen was like all in a pile in the corner where the wind had blown it by the front door at the grocery store.
Oh wow!
I was like, oh yep. And then, like, I don't know if that smoke from Canada is affecting us at all or anything like that. But anyway, I've been extremely, extremely unproductive in my writing career this week. So I thought my granddaughter graduated from kindergarten yesterday.
I saw that.
That was exciting. She was so cute. She was waving like the whole time she was waving. And then she went up to get her diploma and she waved at the lady who was trying to get the person behind me goes, she's practicing for stardom. And I was like, yep, exactly.
Exactly. Oh, that's so sweet.
It was really cute.
Oh.
And so I thought, well, what I thought I would share today as I was making my breakfast, I was thinking about this. Have you ever heard that Scottish sounding lady on TikTok who goes, what's the life hack that you randomly heard one day that has subconscious like changed what you do in your life? Like, I don't know. What's the words? I have them right here.
Oh.
Show me the life hack that you randomly saw one day that is now an unconscious standard practice in your life.
Okay.
So my husband is very strange. He's an Italian man who prefers ragu over
Ew.
homemade sauce and hates spaghetti
Ugh.
noodles. Okay,
What?
yeah.
What does he
He
do instead of spaghetti noodles? Other forms
Any
of
kind of
pasta?
noodle, he
Okay, but not
doesn't
spaghetti.
care, but not spaghetti.
Gotcha.
He had it so much as a child that he's
Mm,
just like over it, I guess.
okay.
Anyway, he complains that homemade oatmeal doesn't taste as good as the flavored packets.
'Cause they're loaded with sugar. I mean,
So
I
if you
like both, but
and even if you add sugar to oatmeal while you're cooking it, doesn't taste the same.
mm-mm.
So here's the random life hack that's gonna change your life if this is you. Mash a banana in a bowl,
Mhm.
mix the oats into the banana, then add your milk or water or whatever and microwave it.
Oh, that sounds
I
delicious.
have peanut butter and jelly oatmeal, so I add peanut butter powder, flaxseed, chia seed, cinnamon, and
Mm.
a cup of frozen mixed berries. Put it in them.
So I've been keto for several years, so I've not had oatmeal for a long time. I love oatmeal. Um, but I haven't had it for a long time and I make other things like I use chia seeds and flax and to make like a fake oatmeal. It tastes more like cream of wheat, which wheat cocoa wheat growing up. Oh man, that was my jam. I loved
I
it so
liked
much.
cream of wheat. I liked it just plain when cooked with milk. I'm just a strange person.
But I have a new friend, a newish friend, but, she has a ton of allergies, and one of them is oatmeal. I never even thought about that oatmeal could be an allergen, and I remember that wasn't that long ago that I actually had some oatmeal, and I didn't feel well afterwards, and I wondered, like, of course, I think, "Oh, it's because I haven't had them in a while," but I wonder if, like, just like with flour, if maybe, like, it's one of those things I can't eat. I don't know. I've never been
Who
tested
knows?
for anything. Yeah. So, but speaking of, like, allergies and stuff, Catherine says, "Tina, try Highland's seasonal allergy. It's a homeopathic remedy."
Okay, I'm
Alright.
willing to try anything at this point.
Yeah. Um, Piper says, "I'd say you'd have to enjoy bananas in order to enjoy that, Tina." Do you not like
You you
bananas,
would
Piper?
we would
I'm
think
sad.
that, but like the banana disappear. To me, the banana flavor disappears,
'Cause you put a lot of
especially
other things in it.
if you add like I put like 2 heaping tablespoons of the peanut butter powder
Mhm.
in there because I really like the flavor of peanut butter. And if you can't do that with real peanut butter, real peanut butter has like 17 grams of fat per serving,
Mhm.
and peanut butter powder has 2 grams of fat per 2 tablespoons.
And I just found one that doesn't have any sugar in it. Like, that
Yeah, I
PB3 stuff is loaded with other
think it's
stuff, but
PB2, but yeah,
or either one of like,
yeah.
I found another and I can share that later. I found another company and I ordered it. It's so good, and it
Mhm.
doesn't have anything in it but peanuts. Like, it is like, none of the other crap that that stuff has. So, oh, Piper says that she loves bananas, but her daughter cannot stand it, and she can ferret out that taste in anything. I guess if you have an aversion for something, you can taste
Yeah,
it.
well, try white sweet potatoes.
Oh, I didn't know there was
I
such
don't
a
know
thing.
if you've ever had a Japanese or a white sweet potato. They taste like vanilla cake. Like, it's a
What?
hack for, like, vanilla frosting. You can just
Really?
take a Japanese sweet potato and some vanilla into it and whip it up,
Mm,
and you taste like I'm sure there's a couple other things in there,
mhm.
but it tastes just like cream cheese frosting.
Well, this friend of mine, she went for a long time trying to figure out what was wrong with her, and so she tried all these different healthy ways of eating, and it just kept getting sicker and sicker. Now think about it: you could go vegan, and if you're still eating oats and certain beans and all these things that she's allergic to, you're just going to always be sick, right?
Yeah.
Well, I make this cake that she can eat. It's a gluten-free cake, but I went the frosting. I went old school, like my grandma used to, shortening, shortening and sugar and cocoa powder
Mhm.
and can make the best chocolate frosting. Now, is it healthy? Nope. But if
No.
you have allergies, not many people are allergic to Crisco. Like that's kind of like a sad thing, right? Like
Yeah.
we're allergic to healthy things, but not Crisco.
Well, like, I'm plant-based, so I always people say, "Well, you're vegan." I'm like, "No, not really," because a vegan would eat everything I'll eat, but I wouldn't eat everything a vegan eats because, like, Oreos are vegan.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of processed vegan food that
Right.
is technically vegan, but I'm
Mhm.
whole foods, so I don't eat processed.
Is Crisco that's vegetable based, right?
It is, but it's
But
highly,
it's
highly
high, yeah.
processed, and it's like way up on the chart of calorie density. Like it's up
Right.
at the top.
It's bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Catherine. Catherine says now she wants frosting. Me too. What were we talking about earlier before we even went live? And I'm like,
Oh, I
oh
was talking
man.
about I was gonna make teeny weenies out of carrots
Oh, and barbecue.
and barbecue baked beans.
Now I want barbecue. Like I want to go.
Yeah.
Like I can make barbecue. No, I want to go somewhere
Because
that
there's
has
a
good
barbecue
barbecue.
place opening down the same street, like that's 2 minutes from my house. Like you
Mhm.
could walk there in 10 minutes. A new barbecue place is opening and a
Mm.
Chick-fil-A this summer. And I don't eat meat.
I know.
I don't eat
So
meat not because I don't love it. That's the
don't worry.
problem.
Don't worry, Tina. I will eat enough meat for the both of us.
I might have to break my diet just to have, at least have Chick-fil-A once. I
Oh,
do it
those.
for health reasons. Like I know there's a lot of people out there who do it for other reasons, but
Mhm.
mine is for because of I have chronic disease. But
There's a barbecue chain place called Dickey's that is so good, and we used to have one in Sterling Heights, I think it was, and I think they closed down. There's some other ones, but they're not close to here. But a newish place opened in Flint, and then they opened one in Lapeer. It's called Maud's. Man, is
mm,
it good. Jess says, BBQ, this Texas girl looks up smiling like a Cheshire.
well,
I would never think because my family's all from Missouri and Kansas City and I would never think like, oh, Michigan barbecue, but we have some really good barbecue places. And I know that it's not just me because we've had people move in to state from other places and they're like there's a place in Clarkson that's really good. This Mods is really good.
there's a
But
place in
yeah.
Fenton that used to be in a gas station, and they it was so good they had to move to like an actual restaurant.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love those
This
stories.
place that's opening right down the street called Shake's Barbecue is Texas
Mm.
barbecue. They advertise as Texas style
You
barbecue.
mean Scratch?
Scratch.
Yeah,
I don't know
Scratch.
why I keep calling them everything but their actual name. I do the
So
same thing to my children. So
same,
now my
same.
grandchildren, like it's Eliana and Athena. Like
Oh,
those names are so close.
right.
Anyway.
So when so my daughters are Joelle, Chloe, and Phoebe. And we had Joelle first. I have stepchildren too, but we had Joelle first. And we had her for 3.5 years before we had my second daughter. And her name is Chloe. My husband was constantly calling her Chloe by accident, like I said when she's a newborn, right?
That's great.
It was so funny. So every so often we'll just call her Chloe just to be funny. But I constantly, for some reason, Chloe and Phoebe, their names aren't even close. Joey and Chloe are close. I never get those two, but I will look at one and I will think to myself Phoebe, and Chloe's name comes out or vice versa. Like it is, I think it's like I psyched myself out at this point with it.
And when I
My
get
poor kids.
frustrated, I go down the list.
And I used to not feel bad about Chloe because she constantly called me Dada. Like,
Yeah.
and she wasn't little. Like
know,
she was like 9 or 10.
I just researched that because my daughter was like, her daughter is just turned 7 months.
Mhm.
And she's like, is she ever going to say mama? And I did some research. So when a baby is born, they are psychologically one with their mother. Like they
Mm.
don't have their own identity or sense of self. And
Mhm.
that's why they say dada first, because dada is separate from them.
I thought
And
that the
mama,
D sound was also easier.
it is easier, but like mama is like themselves.
Interesting.
I thought that was really interesting.
That is
And
really
anyway,
cool.
when I get frustrated, I go down the list. Amber, Michael, James, Chris, Sasha, and Oreo, which is the dog and cat that have been dead for 10 years. They still make the list.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, my poor son, my youngest stepson, he get called Toby all the time, and that's our dog. One of
Oh
one of
no.
our many dogs, poor guy. So, I haven't done my what's up yet. Sorry.
Yeah,
So,
we just got chatting and
I
forgot
guess
what we
so.
were doing.
Were you done with your what's up?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think that's probably enough.
So as soon as we're done with this podcast, I am hitting the road and we are headed to Indianapolis. The Nazarene Church has their every 4 years we have General Assembly. It's an international event, people from all over the world. And I've been seeing on social media people like posting like in the Nazarene Church reposting it, like people from Zimbabwe and China, like all over the place. People are coming in for this, and it's kind of exciting. But my youngest daughter qualified to compete in World Quiz. There'll be 1,400 children from across the world coming in and competing for Bible quizzing. And so it's super exciting. We did this, Joelle did this when she was Phoebe's age. And this is the last year. I mean, Phoebe's in 6th grade going into 7th, and this is her last year to do kids Bible quizzing. And so
Nice.
we have a great weekend planned though.
My
We have
daughter is going to too, and the baby and her husband are staying home.
I thought her husband was going.
No, he has PTSD pretty badly, and he doesn't do well with large crowds. So he started getting anxious last weekend. So she's standing in for him, and to pray for him because he's staying home with the baby.
That's awesome. Thanks, Jess. Jess says Wallace, an amazing accomplishment. Yeah, we're really proud of her. Piper says about her kids, she's like, I call mine, hey you. That would solve the problem.
I always go, whatever your name is.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to, like I said, I used to not feel bad because Chloe would call me Dada all the time. And she, like I said, she wasn't little. She was, but she doesn't do that anymore. So I gotta break the habit. If she broke the habit, I need to. So.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see. I know the older I get, the more senile I get. So it's just
mine are grown and out of the house, and now I do it to their children. So I don't.
And no kid really understands it until they have their own kids. So I don't know what it is. It's weird. So
yeah.
All right. Well, today we are talking. Let's get into the topic. Enough of us just gabbing away, though. We could probably do a whole hour of that. Today we get talking about. This topic came up in our Facebook group. Again, if you're not a member of our Facebook group, you're going to want to wait, hold on. We got to stop. We got to stop this. Catherine Carroll says, what's up? I found out the other day that I got a book Bob.
That is huge.
Congratulations, Catherine. Yay. That is awesome. That is incredible. Kudos for you. You're going to have to come back and let us know how that went, because that's very exciting. So
yeah, that is exciting.
Okay, so
I'd be interested in to know, is she giving it away for free?
Yes. Let's find out, Catherine. Is this like a 99-cent deal or is it a freebie deal? Okay, so in our Facebook group, our dear friend Maria posted about giving away her book for free. She was kind of hesitant about doing it. And so I commented, and then I got busy with life. Of course, I think y'all know how I feel about this, but we thought we would have a whole conversation about why we think you should, the reasons that you should. And so we came up with our top 5. And this is what we're talking about today. Top 5 reasons to give your book away for free.
Yeah, don't panic.
Don't panic. These are good reasons, and like ultimately it's going to make you more money. Yeah. This is what we have found ourselves. So, number 1, as a lead magnet. Tina, what is a lead magnet?
A lead magnet is draw people in, like a magnet will draw in metal shavings, and get them to sign up for your newsletter so they can get something for free.
All right. Awesome.
And in our case, it would be our books.
Yes.
Most of the time.
So when I first started writing before I was published, and I came, long story short, book 1 was originally going to be, our book 1 didn't exist, but then I'm like, I'll just write it as a novella and I'll give it away for free. Well, it ended up being, it is shorter than my other books, but it's definitely like novel length. And so I just labeled it as book 1. I thought I'll just give it away for free. Well, I sell it and I give it away for free. And by doing that, I have a newsletter. Like, I don't know, I've not been really good about my newsletter lately, but I have over 1,000 subscribers without having to pay, without much effort, because I was giving away a book. Now, what I did, I'm in Kindle Unlimited right now. That experiment, we need to have a whole nother episode about my Kindle Unlimited.
Let's put that on the idea list, because we're always like, what are we going to talk about?
Right, exactly. All right. So I made it for sale everywhere. And then I had it as my newsletter sign up. So the reason why I did that was some people don't want to sign up for your newsletter. They'll go buy it. Some people want to see that there's value. So by putting it for sale, and they can see they can get it for free, like, oh, I'm saving this much money by signing up for a newsletter. Well, then when book 2 came out, I left it out for a little while, didn't give it away for free at first, except for, we're going to get to all right, I did not give it away for free as a newsletter sign up at first. But then what I did was I changed my newsletter signups. I had my first book, I made it. I'm getting too far ahead. You know what? I'm going to save this to the very end and discuss this whole process. So, newsletter subscribers are worth more than the sale of one book because you can sell them a ton of other books. So,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because if you think about it, let's say that you're selling your book for $2.99, and even if you get 70% of that, is what's worth more, $1 or a person that's going to follow you and hear about all your books and possibly go out and buy them as you write more and more books. They're going like, oh, another book, another book, another book, and that's money in the bank.
Right. Agreed. Catherine says she's putting her BookBub is for 99 cents. So okay. All right. So our number 5, I should start this way. Our number 5 reason to give away your book is for lead magnet for your newsletter. Number 4 is for promotions.
Yeah.
What do we mean by that, Tina?
Well, exactly what she was talking about was she got a BookBub. There's Free Booksy, there's Fussy Librarian, Faithful Reads. It's basically a paid newsletter promo.
We have episodes about this. You can go back and search for that.
Search that on our YouTube. Where you put your book in there, you pay a fee, you put your book in there, it's in there for a specific day or maybe 1, 2, or 3 days, depending on the newsletter. It's usually 1 day. And then people who are looking for books in your genre will get the newsletter, see that it's free, and hopefully download it.
And that has, for me, resulted in read-through sales quite a bit by doing the paid newsletters. Right. And we utilize those with our whole book launch plan, the way that we do book launches. And so you can also go find other episodes where we talk about book launches. We don't want to go down too deep of the rabbit hole on that. But all right, the other thing with promotions too is Amazon countdown deals, which I have never done before. So Tina, explain to us what this is.
Amazon, if you're in Amazon Kindle Unlimited, you have to be in Kindle Unlimited, not just Kindle. You can go into your bookshelf on KDP, and you can click the promote and advertise button, and there's 2 choices. You can do a 99-cent deal for 5 days, or you can do a free for 5 days. So in December of 2022, I put book 1 free for 5 days just before Christmas, and then forgot that I did it.
That's the best.
It was like I didn't even get on my Facebook and go, "Hey guys, my book is free for 5 days." No, nothing. I forgot completely about it. Beginning of January, somebody was talking about how many books they sold in December. My December had been so crazy busy. I had a grand spanking new granddaughter, so I was completely checked out of the book world.
Yeah.
So I decided to go on KDP and see what my sales were, and it was in the hundreds during those 5 days.
Wow.
I was like, what happened? Then I remembered. I put book 1 on for free.
So you're talking about in the hundreds, meaning not just the book that was for free. This is like read through, right? For
those 5 days, they were the book that I had put free.
Okay, gotcha.
With a few of book 2s. Some people were downloading book 2 too if they had Kindle Unlimited. So over the next several months, I saw basically the effects of that up and through March.
That's awesome.
Because I was getting book 1, read KENP, which is the page reads, and I was getting book 2. People were downloading book 2 and reading on there. So page reads for book 1 and book 2 plus just actual sales, all the way through March. So then in April, I decided to do another one because you can do 1 per quarter. So it's 3 months. I decided to do book 1 for 99 cents.
Okay.
And see what happened. Again, I just decided for continuity and scientific method that I was not going to, announce it anywhere. I wasn't going to tell anybody. I was just going to act like I forgot.
Okay.
Because I wanted to compare.
Right.
So I had a bump. I did have a bump. It wasn't as big as the free one in December, just before Christmas.
Okay.
But it was a significant bump that like trickled down over the next several months. So last week, I put book 2 for free for 5 days. And then I had an even more significant bump than I had in April. Was it March or April? Somewhere in there. It was like 3 months ago. Um, and which actually it was funny because I made quite a few sales of book 1 during that
Awesome.
5 days because I had put book 2 for free. So that was interesting. And now you can do it one time during the period for each book. So now, right now, I probably shouldn't say anything because I'm messing up my scientific method. But book 1 is free right now for 5 days.
So in what you discovered, the bottom line, did you find that you got more sales off making the first one free, or was it pretty comparable, 99
I
cents to
think
free?
making that first one free was my biggest.
That's always been my
And it
experience
was right
too.
before Christmas. So
Mhm.
I'm sure that that also affected that. But we'll see what happens with this. This been 6 months
Mhm.
since I put book 1 free. So we'll see what happens during this 5 days.
Awesome.
So
Just says, is there a resource in Facebook for places to promote your book? Some of those Tina listed off, I haven't heard of. So I do have a resource. I thought it was in our group, but now that I think about it, it might have been we had this other little group with just a few of us in it before. I think I might have put it in there. So I will go look after the episode and see where it is. If it's not in our Facebook group, I will put it in our Facebook group. If it is, then I will tag you in it, Jess.
and you can
But
also search David Gogren. He has an
mhm,
awesome post on his website
right,
that lists them all out and what kind of like promos they're good for
mhm.
and what they cost. It's a very comprehensive
Yeah.
guide.
So his is more
Yeah.
comprehensive than mine. What mine is my own experience. So I list them out and then I tell you what my experiences were with my genre in each one of those. So yes,
Yeah.
I can do that. So okay, you guys, I'm really sorry. I should probably restarted my computer. I'm having major computer problems today, um, with my mouse and my keyboard, but they both have brand new batteries in them. So
Mm.
okay, so that was number 4. Number 3, subscription services.
Subscription services. Yeah, this is like Book Funnel and Story Origin.
Mhm,
And I've used both of these. And this is where you can like find people who want to do newsletter swaps.
mhm,
That's one of the things you can do, but you can also use it to funnel your book to people who want to give a free book to. So if you were offering your book for free as a lead magnet or in your newsletter, you could use BookFunnel to do that also.
mhm. Yep.
And,
I've
and
had
in
good ex
ads. So
Mhm. I've had really good experience with that, with doing, I've done both BookFunnel and Story Origin. When I did Story Origin when it was free, and I liked it. And there are features that I liked about it better than BookFunnel, but then there were also features I liked better about BookFunnel than Story Origin. So what I when Story Origin started like charging, I already paid for a year of BookFunnel, so I declined. I did not do that. And BookFunnel has been making improvements too, but I also used it for I use BookFunnel for what we're going to talk about next.
mhm. That's
So
why I didn't mention that because I knew we were
yep.
talking about it next.
All right, so we're going to
So
move
I
on.
like what Catherine said.
Okay.
Every time I put any book free, no matter what number in the series, I get lots of sales and page reads for all the others. And the
Interesting.
book bub is for book 7.
That is super interesting. Now, I've not tried that because I have always been told and heard from the experts in the field
Mhm.
that you need to do book 1. I've never tried any of the other books, but in my mind, I always kind of thought, well, if I put book 2 at discount, someone's going to go and see that it's book 2 and want to go back and read book 1
Right.
before, because that's how I
Especially if it's
am.
available on KU and they have
Yeah.
KU. That's an easy sale.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and
All right.
also she has at least 7 books because this is
Right.
book 7. So, and I only have 2 books out, almost 3.
Mhm.
So I feel like my results would be much better if I had more books.
Catherine, I'm super excited to find out how this book club goes for you. Message us what the date or you can put it in here if you don't mind sharing, but I'm just interested about following that because since it's not book 1, that's even more interesting to me, so,
Yeah.
hmm. Okay, so our number 2 reason that you would want to give your book away for free is for reviews. And there are a couple different kinds of reviews we want to talk about. First of all, book launch. And this is where the conversation started with our friend Jo, was that she was getting ready to launch a book and didn't know if she should give books away for free to advanced readers. And here's my take. And I know she knows this already, but my take is advanced readers equal instant reviews equal more sales. So when somebody comes across a brand new book that's released, they're going to like look at the cover and then they're going to read the blurb. And if they're still on the fence, the next thing they're going to do is look for reviews. If there are 0 reviews, there are a lot of people that are just going to keep shopping because there's just a ton of books out there, right? But if there even are a handful of reviews, if there's even 5 reviews and they're all positive and the people are talking like about like specifically about the book, not like this is a great book, you should read it, because that just seems fake. But if there are, your chances of getting the sales are increased exponentially. Like it is just it's a huge difference.
Worth far more than the 99 cents or $1 or 30 cents or whatever, depending on how you've priced your book, that you're going to make.
And one of the things that she questioned was, yes, but these are my fans that will go buy the book no matter what. So she felt like she was losing those sales. And I understand that. Some of those fans will still go buy the book for you.
Yeah.
When I do what I do is I give it to them for free, and then they know they have to give me a review. And then I also send out a letter like saying, if you want to support me, thank you so much. The book is yours for free. Thank you for your review. If you really want to support me, it's only for a few bucks to buy my book. If you'd be willing to do that, then your review will show up as a verified purchase. You don't have to, there's no obligation, but I would appreciate it. And I had some that went ahead and did that.
And some people do that and they mark it down to 99 cents just for that first day or 2.
Mm-hmm.
So those people that they said that to can go and buy it for that cheap price.
Cheap. Agreed. Yeah. But be careful, because if you have pre-order. If you do pre-order and you mark it down 99 cents for those days, everybody that pre-ordered it gets it for 99 cents. So,
right. So yeah, you have to do your research.
Yeah.
And you have to decide what's going to work for you. So
right. So again, I'm leaving for Indianapolis here as soon as we're done with the podcast. But when I have a minute, I'm going to upload the copies of letters that I sent out to my my fans. There's a letter that I send out that says, hey, if you're interested, and I think I did a Google form for them to sign up. And then I sent another letter out thanking them. So I have a series of letters that I can share with you guys to help you launch with advanced readers if you would like. Okay, so other reviews. So it's not just with book launch. If you didn't do this with your book launch, don't worry, because there's other ways of getting reviews. Tina mentioned Story Origin. That's probably one of the best places I think to go to get reviews. You can upload your book to Story Origin and you can offer it for reviews. Now, here's why I think that their system is great, is because when people can request to review your book, and you can go and you can see their past history. If somebody has like never given a review, you do not have to accept them. You can go back and see like, okay, they accepted this many copies, but they've not given reviews. Then you don't mess with them. If they've only done a 50% of their reviews, that's up to you. Like when they first started, nobody had any sort of records. So I gave out my book. But then when it came for time for my next book, I was very selective with who I allowed to get free copies of the book. I was very selective.
Because now there's more of a history there.
Yep.
And the thing that I like about them is they will send out the reminder that says, hey, you accepted this book, but you haven't reviewed it yet.
They do all the work for you.
So you don't have to be the one pestering them.
Right.
Because Story Origin will do it for you.
And
I really like that idea.
If you're a reader, I think that it's free for you to join Story Origin and be able to do this. So if you're a reader just kind of happening across our podcast, go take a look at it, because you could just make sure you're willing to do the reviews. So, but we do want to give you a little bit of a warning here though, too. Be wary, because not all review sites are the same. There are some that, first of all, are kind of shady. I don't want to call any of them out because I don't want to get sued, but there's one in particular. And if you spend any time on any writing or author Facebook groups, you're going to know this, but there is one out there that the people that are their reviewers are like relentless and like they are just hard. Like they'll read your book and then they're not going to give you a good review. Overall, that's like the feel that most writers get. It's people that like want to show how intelligent they are and how not intelligent the writer is. And so again, do your research and choose this website. I honestly, I have only used Story Origin, and that was not my number one way to get reviews anyway. So,
yeah. I would say talk to other authors and see what they've used and what their experience was. And then you'll be able to be more informed about how well each site works.
Right. Catherine says her book bubble will be June 17th. So she's going to post results in the Facebook group. Awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. And Jess says it's a neat function like doing an interview. I don't, what's like doing an interview? I guess I don't, do you understand that, Tina?
No.
Okay. So it's not just me. All right. Can you clarify, Jess? I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. As we move on to the number one reason, and I put it as number one because it's my number one. The number one reason to give your book away for free, it's my favorite, and it is FFIS, free first in series. Now, for years before I was in Kindle Unlimited, my first book was free first in series. And then so I started to get into this earlier and I had to stop. So here we are back to the point of what I started to say earlier. Jess said deciding on who to allow to review on a Story Origin.
Oh, okay.
It's like interviewing them. Okay.
Like our brains had moved on from that point. And we
we're just
sure
slow.
what she was talking about.
Wasn't you, it was us.
I'm 54 years old.
So. Yeah. We have lots of excuses.
Geriatric.
Okay, so book 1 was free for years. And then book 2 was not free. However, at the end of book 1, if you want to sign up for my newsletter, you'd get book 2 for free. So I was technically giving away 2 books for free. But if you go to my page, I have hundreds of reviews on book 1. I have less than 100 on the others. Hundreds on book 1. Now, are there people out there with thousands? Yes, absolutely. I'm still new in my career. I only have, 3 books out right now. That's very new in your career. But I have hundreds, and the only reason I have those is because I made my first one free. And the first week that I did that, all of a sudden, thousands of downloads. When you make your first book free, Amazon instantly gives you a boost. And all of a sudden, I had readers that were reading my book that I never had before. And right now, I started getting sales. And right now, I am still getting, I've like kind of basically shut down my Amazon advertising because it was like, that's a whole nother experience that maybe someday I'll share. But I still make money every single month just because, well, now I'm in Kindle Unlimited, but because of read through. So long story short, I'm going to kind of backtrack a little bit on my Kindle Unlimited. I'm going to take book 1, I believe, out of Kindle Unlimited, put it back elsewhere just so that I can bring it down to 0, bring it back to free, and then have my first in series free again. And then the rest of my books in Kindle Unlimited. And we're going to try that for a little while. But I'm telling you, I thought, yeah, this is just a process. I'll just try it. No, it was so successful for me to make that first book free that every series I have from here on out is the first book is going to be free. Not the beginning. When it's the first book released and there's no other books, it's going to be for sale because I'm not expecting anything. But once I get some books in that series out, then it's going to get dropped down to free. And that's what we're going to do.
Once I get this 3rd book published, it's going to be the last one in that series. The trilogy. I'm definitely going to think about taking book 1 out of KU and putting it wide and putting it for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hate that we have to go wide in order to make it free because I feel like that might tease some readers that only read on like Nook. And I met someone a couple weeks ago at that retreat I went on. She's like, "Oh, I really only read Nook." And I was like, "Really?" But they're out there. Like seriously, there are people that don't like Amazon. So
unfortunately, I got an email from a fan who was like, "I read your book on this platform and I can't read book 2 because you just took it out and I refuse to use Amazon." And I was like, "Well, I'm sorry, like your purchase was the only purchase I had for the entire year."
Yeah.
And it's not worth it to me. Like as a business decision, I can't make it based on one sale.
Yep. She can always buy the paperback.
Yeah.
From Barnes and Noble or,
Right, because I do have that in,
Me too.
whatchamacallit.
So anyways, there's our top 5 reasons to give your book away for free. I know it's things that we've talked about before, and I know it can be tough especially if you're just starting out and you think you're only gonna get a handful of sales. The thing you need to understand is that your book launch is this big on the timeline of your book sales. In
Yeah.
traditional publishing, the book launch is so much more important than it is in indie and hybrid publishing, because when you are with a traditional publisher and they're releasing books all the time, they give you 30 days for them to help push. I don't know how much pushing they do anymore,
Yeah.
but that's approximately how much they give. And so that launch period is very important to them because that's when the majority of the sales are going to happen.
And if
And
you don't do well, they're not gonna take the next book.
possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
And so with indie publishing and hybrid publishing, you have the lifetime of that book to sell it. And I can attest to this. It's fun to, like, have a decent launch and make some, decent money that first month, but if I compare that to all the months after that, like, the long haul, I make so much more in the long haul, and I'm not even done yet. I'm not
Yeah.
dead yet, right? So I have the lifetime of this book to make money. So
Yeah.
it really giving those books away for free and getting those reviews is so much more important than making a couple dollars right now. So,
Mhm. And if like, I'm in the 20 books, um, Facebook group,
mhm,
and people will post their, what they made for the month on their like, the screenshot of their KDP, what they made for each month in there at a regular basis, and
mhm.
the higher numbers always have way higher numbers of books written.
Yes.
You never see somebody that has 3 books who's making, like, thousands of dollars every month.
True.
And so, you
Which means why don't we have these last 2 books done, Tina? Why
so
have
it's
I
like
not put mine out?
iteration, iteration, iteration. I have it written, behind me on my board, but can I do it? Apparently not. But,
Mine's
like,
done. I just need to do the cover and get
these
it
people
going.
that are mid-listers who suddenly go big often
Mhm.
have, like, 25 books behind them.
Mm.
And then they have one book that hits, and then all of a sudden, these people that really love that one book that's book
Yep.
26 wanna go back and read everything they've written.
That's gonna be us.
So the
Yep.
the hope is that, just keep writing the books and let it happen
Yep.
naturally.
Agreed.
Much more sustainable anyway.
It really is. That's what I keep thinking, like, when I get frustrated about, like, how, like, my life has just been crazy lately and I'm not got producing what I wanna produce, I just keep thinking that, like, I got my lifetime. I've got the lifetime of these books to do this, so all right, awesome. Well, it is time for us to move on to the next stage, next set of our episode, and that's the feeding of the backs. One of our favorite times of the episode where before we start podcasting, we sit for 15 minutes and we write on the same prompt. And then we share it here on this episode live, unedited, no time to even think about it again. And then, so we're only going to be giving each other positive feedback because it's not been edited. If you want to see what real critique looks like, we do have an episode where we critique some. Did we do all 3 of us? I think we did all 3 of us.
I don't
But
even remember.
I think there's 3 episodes so you can go see how we do actual critiquing, but this is just for fun. So Tina, I'm going to have you go first. Tell us what the prompt was and share with us what you wrote.
The prompt was a sentence in quotes, so you're supposed to use that sentence in quotes, which I did not do.
Oh.
But it was the external scars tell only part of the story, and it
Mm,
made me think about. Somebody said I should write my story this past week, like a memoir kind of narrative thing, and I've been thinking about that all week. And then this prompt kind of brought that out. So here we go. The world changed overnight. The reds, yellows, and browns of autumn transformed into a world defined in grayscale. The bright white of the snow, the leaf bare trees appearing black against it, the mountains, white on top, with graduated shades of gray becoming black at the base. Even the colors of the houses in the neighborhood seemed muted. I
mm,
walked along the rim of the raised stone flower bed that bordered the walk alongside our garage. It was just wide enough that my puffy winter boots fit.
mm,
I held my arms out to balance myself, only wobbling occasionally. My 5-year-old body responded with strength and confidence as I made the second circuit, then a third, and a fourth. As I carefully moved around the post at the end holding up the garage eave, I noticed a shock of orange against the bright white. It was another little girl with hair the color of carrots.
Mhm.
She turned up our driveway and marched toward me with confidence. My young mind couldn't name the emotions that filled me in that moment, but looking back now, I think I recognize some of them. Excitement at the possibility of a friend in a new neighborhood. Fear. What if she decides she doesn't like me? Longing that I could have such confidence to just walk up to a stranger without a thought. Want a spicy gumdrop? She asked. I got a whole bag in my pocket. She whispered the last part as if the silence of the winter white world would suddenly give way to shouting her secret. Sure, I replied. Didn't particularly like gumdrops, and I wasn't sure I'd ever had spicy ones, but the possibility of making a friend required adaptation and compliance, both of which I was very good at, even at 5 years old. Christy and I ate gumdrops. We played, we grew. We had every class in school together. She was my world, my best friend, my confidence, my safety blanket.
Mhm.
Then in the fall, just before fourth grade started, I got the news that shattered my world. Three, two, one.
Oh, Tina. Yes, you have to write this. What beautiful prose. We were talking about beautiful prose before we went live. What beautiful prose.
Dang.
Like, yes, this is it. This is you. Yes. I cannot even give enough like positives. I love this. I love that like it feels like it's fiction, but I know that it's not. And it's just going to read so well. And like, you have a great story to tell, so yeah, well done, Tina.
Thanks. And just for so yeah, everyone's not super sad. Christy and I are still friends. She lives
Aw.
down near Selfridge Air Force Base. We met in Alaska, but her husband works for the Air Force, so as a civilian. So they're
Uh-huh.
like an hour away, and we like have lunch sometimes. And she's the one that reminded me that they were actually spicy gumdrops. I knew they were gumdrops, but
Oh, wow. That's
yeah, we still
awesome.
talk about that day when like her shock of orange hair. Like, was my first impression of my new neighborhood.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
How well done, Tina, really well
thanks.
done. Yeah, I love that. I love, like, the alright, so you got me from the very beginning because your description of the mountains, I could totally see it, and then how even the houses look muted, like, I was there, I could see it because like, even Mi like, this is in Alaska, but even Michigan, even in the wintertime, everything just feels kind of like that. Like, so what you
Muted.
were s yeah, when you said I never thought about, but when you said that, I'm like, "Yeah, I got it, I understood it." So, like, it made total sense, and then the shock of red, orange, like, yeah, it was so good. I loved it.
Yeah. And scientifically, when there's snow, it actually mutes sound too. It makes the world
Interesting.
feel quieter,
Yeah,
quieter.
I love what you said as if the snow was going to scream that was so well done. Everything was so great. Piper
Thanks.
agree she says, "Oh, it is gray outside my window, and it went right along with your story, making me very chilly, LOL. I'm so glad you're still friends." Catherine says, "What a great intro to a friendship." Agreed.
Yeah.
Jess says, "Like a well done steak, Tina, yummy with all the descriptions. I was transformed." Yes, agreed.
Thanks,
So well
guys.
done. All right. So I'm back in The Widows of the West. I,
Okay.
I knew that as soon as we were doing the outline and I saw this, I'm like, I knew what scene I was going to write. However, like I mentioned earlier, I'm having problems with my mouse and my keyboard. Like, I don't know what's going on. It was really hard to write today.
Oh
So I
no.
didn't get a whole lot in. So come in. Kate hesitated for a moment. He'd never been inside the widow's home, and he wasn't certain he would be welcome, despite the cheery response his knock had just received. He wasn't certain who Mrs. McGuire thought was at her front door, but he was certain it wasn't him. Apprehensively, Kate pushed the old door open and stepped inside. The widow McGuire wiped her hands dry on her apron and turned from dirty dishes. Her eyes settled on him. They grew wide, and something passed them that, to Kate, looked an awful lot like fear. "What are you doing here, McNeil?" Her eyes darted back and forth, looking for something. Cade followed her gaze, trying to figure out what it was. They both saw it at the same time. Her shotgun. Fortunately for Cade, he was closer to it. He casually stepped between the weapon and the woman. He didn't want to escalate her fear, but neither did he want a repeat of their meeting yesterday. I came to make myself available to you, ma'am. I told you I don't need you or any other man," she said, with what Kate assumed was her attempt at confidence, but her hands fluttered to her hair nervously, smoothing out hair that wasn't out of place. When she did so, Kate noticed angry purple marks up and down the inside of her forearms. "Ma'am," he said, "what happened to your arms?" She quickly rolled the sleeves of her blouse down. "Ain't none of your concern." She was right, of course, but Cade couldn't dismiss the sound of his mother's voice inside his head saying something once. The external scars tell only part of the story. If that were true, Cade wondered what the rest of the widow's story was. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's so good.
Thanks.
And I just can't wait to like have him put the pieces together and like just good stuff. Like that whole I guess having come from an abusive relationship from my first marriage,
Mhm.
like to have somebody recognize not just the external scars heal
Mhm.
and they're gone, but the inside stuff takes years. My
Mm.
husband still talks about it. He still talks about the fact that I had this attitude that no man was going to control me ever
Mhm.
again. And it
Mhm.
was an issue
Mhm.
when we first got married. And it sometimes rears its head. Like
Mm.
he will say to me, "Don't forget blah blah blah," and I will get an attitude.
Mm.
Like, "Don't tell me what to do." The attitude,
Mhm. Yeah.
without realizing it, and he'll say, he'll say something, and then I'll be like, "Oh, sorry," but yeah,
Mhm.
that's just I love those kind of stories where you pull out the internal stuff that's hidden, like, and then you learn it as it goes along. That's just great.
Right. And I know that I need to write a scene where they discuss it, but, like, I didn't feel like you can just draw like, I needed to, like there needs to be hints at it. There needed to be some sort of, like, where he can see something. Like, there's gotta be, like, things that he notices before,
Mhm.
the actual thing comes
Like he
out,
could
so
hear rumors in town or something, and then
right. There's, like,
yeah,
lots of ways you can handle it, but yeah,
my
so
mind is reeling with ideas, so I'll be quiet now.
I already know I just gotta spend the time doing it. I already
Yeah,
know how
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
know.
write this part, but and then the part where apprehensively Cade pushed the door open and stepped inside, and then I just went back in just now, and in all caps I wrote insert description of inside of house. So one of the things that I want to point out is that like it's falling apart. The outside, it's an old kind of a shack kind of a thing, but inside she has like it's very clean and she has like some curtain like she's made the best of it like she's whitewashed inside and like so and I'm going to use that as a metaphor for different things too like I know I so
Right,
like
whitewash
so
tomb kinda thing?
kind of yeah and so I didn't have time to like I didn't even think about it until I was reading it to y'all right now and then I'm like that's where I need to put that part like I need to put something in there just so that we can start to see it is gonna show more about her than just about the house, and so
Right.
I'm actually happy about what I wrote today because it's gonna be able to expand into more. There's lots of places I will expand more on this, but it's a sprint, and it did what it was supposed to, right? So,
Yeah,
yep,
and get those juices going so you can get this book done.
right, yes. Piper says, I can't get my mouse to work. I love the bit about her eyes looking here and there and both of them finding the gun at the same time. So good, Jen. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Jess thought it was good as well. Thanks, Jess. Catherine says such good tension between them. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. So, yep, I love this story. I just need to like get my life in order, which I did a little bit this
Yeah.
week. I don't know if you guys can see behind me here, all the mess in my office is stuffed again because we're again gutting a different part of the basement and trying to finish drywall, and so we're getting there. And my life
And
is
it's
starting to
hard
get
to
back.
write when everything's in chaos like that. Like, I
Mhm.
realized maybe part of my problem is, my husband has been preaching from this room because we have an online church.
Mhm.
So, I got all this sound equipment and lighting equipment and stuff, like, sitting and right in my view.
Mm.
And, I have some other stuff that needs to be put away, and my office is not as, like, undistracting as it should be, I think.
Mm.
And I think I
Yeah.
really need to spend some time, like, getting it so to where it's gonna stay that way,
Mhm.
and it doesn't keep, like, reacquiring these piles of stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep, I completely get that. Yep. All right. Well, it's about time for us to wrap this up. But before we go, we want to do our what's next. So Tina, what's next for you?
I have no idea. Honestly. Today's my granddaughter's last day of school. I
Mm,
talked to her mom about having her for the summer. I still haven't got an answer about how much they're willing to give her up for the summer.
mm,
So I don't know really what my day to day is going to look like. My daughter, we're not having girls' night this weekend because my daughter's going to World Quizzing.
mhm.
Um, and my husband has the man flu. So
Aw.
who knows? Who knows what's I really need to buckle down and get this last 10,000 words written and start the editing process.
Mm,
I kind of started the editing process and left the 10,000 words, and I might continue with that. Like, I might just do all my self editing up to that last quarter, like the last third of the book, I guess it is.
mhm,
Not even the third. It's probably more like a tenth. I don't know.
mm,
A seventh, actually. Um, and then see what happens when I get all that stuff fixed.
mhm.
I don't know. I'm undecided. I can't decide.
Yeah, and I know you said that you wanted to have me take a look at it too or have, like, so we need to figure that out too.
Well,
So,
and you're so busy, and
I think it's gonna slow down a little bit here though now
yeah,
that,
once
like.
school's done and all that, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And right
So
now, my husband, he had this old car, and he said, "This the body's gonna fall apart before the engine does," and he was right. The frame cracked. Perfectly good engine, but the frame cracked, and so he's using my car, and I don't have transportation like to go meet with anyone or anything. So
Well, that's the same thing with us too. We're down to 1 vehicle too. And, like, I am loath to borrow money for cars. So it's like, I'm good. We'll save up and we'll we'll figure this out. But
yeah,
all right, so for me, my what's next is I'm still trying to figure out book cover on this one. I have a little bit of a computer issue stuff too. So that's kind of slowing things up. But this week I'm gone this weekend. And so next week, I'm hoping to not write, to be honest. I'm hoping to like really focus on cover and blurb and all that kind of stuff and cross the finish line with this book. So
yeah,
that's what I'm looking for. I want to be able to like get it done and then like schedule it. So like schedule the launch, not like have to like hurry up and get it and then launch it right away. Like I want to actually schedule it.
right,
So what a difference from like all the other books I've done. You
yeah,
grow.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. I don't do good with that looming deadline stuff.
right. Oh, yeah, same here. So all right. Well, I guess that about does it for today. If you are not a member of our Facebook group, please go on over there and share with us what your what's next is. But until next week, may your pen be prolific, may your deadlines be met, and may all of your words honor Christ. Bye now.
Bye.